All right, my friends, today we are going to talk about Worksets. Now, Worksets only work in a file that is Workshare Enabled, right? Which means it's a central file and you're using local files to link into it. If you just made a brand new Revit file and you're just working with links of mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and structural and stuff like that, linking in, that doesn't mean that you're using a work sharing file. A work sharing file is converting your file from just a single user enabled file to one that multiple people from your company can work on. You probably already knew that, but I just wanted to say that you cannot set up Worksets unless work sharing is enabled. So you have to be in your local file or in the central file in order to set these up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is show you how to create work sets, why you create work sets, how to use those work sets efficiently that you are creating, and then how to delete them if you're done with them. You don't want them anymore. Okay, so let me share my screen and we'll go from there. Share my screen right now. Okay, so here we is. We're in Revit. Okay, so here we go. What I want to do, I'm going to pop over to a plan. So I've already made this file into a work sharing file. Okay, and I do have a video on that and on how to create. You can do a search in my YouTube channel to find creating a central file if you don't know how to do that. But let's just assume you do. And so here we are, and you're going to start linking in different projects or different files that are associated with this file. And right now, I'm just going to show you. Here's the first thing. We're going to go to the Collaborate button. I'm going to click on Worksets. And when the dialog pops up, here it is. I've only got Shared Levels and Grids and Workset 1. Those are the only two that I have currently. And if I plan on linking in other files, I want to put those files into their own workset. And I'll explain why in just a minute. So every linked file that you link in needs to be in its own workset. And so that you have visibility control to turn them on and off, okay? So what I'm going to do is show you how to create a new workset and then put a linked file into that workset, okay? So first, I'm just gonna say, okay, here, I'm not gonna create one yet. I want to link in, let's say, the structural file, okay? So I'm gonna go to Insert, Link Revit, and I'm going to click on structural, okay? And I'm just going to link it in origin to origin, and it's going to pop in here, but it comes into the active workset, okay? Wait for it. Wait for it. Here it comes. Bam. Okay, we got structural in here. Now, it comes into the active workset, and if you look down at the bottom of your screen, it will tell you which workset is the active workset, and mine is Workset 1, okay? So it loaded automatically into Workset 1. If I had another workset, I could have set it to the active workset, and then this would have loaded into it. We're going to do that in a minute also. But here I am with a structural file linked in, and I'm going to go down to my links and take a look. Structural is linked in, and you can see it. I purposefully put some structure in some weird places here so that we knew that structural linked in. Okay, it's obvious you wouldn't want a column possibly right next to your toilet here. And so maybe we need to box around it or talk to the structural engineer and say, dude, do we have to use such gigantic I-beams in here? Can't we just use like pipe columns or something? Okay, so anyway, so here's the structural. That file is not in its own workset. Why do I want it in its own workset? Now, here's the reason. If you have a workset that is on, Revit is thinking about it. It is calculating it every time I pan, every time I zoom, every time I change views. It has to calculate and consider every single object that's on. But if I have a work set that I've turned off, Revit stops thinking about it. You can pan and zoom so much faster if you turn off work sets that you don't need at that time, okay? So let's just, here we go. What I'm gonna do is show you how to make a work set and then put the structural file into it. So we're gonna go back up here to collaborate. We're gonna click on work sets. And in this dialog box, there's new right there at the top right. I'm gonna click on new. I'm gonna call this structural model, okay? You can call it whatever you want, because I can hit, I just created it by hitting okay. I can delete it if I don't want it, but we'll get into that later. So now I've created a work set called structural model. I'm just gonna say, okay. Do you wanna make that the current, the active work set? I usually say no, because I wanna keep working in my architectural work set 1, because whatever is set as your active work set, everything you place into the model goes into that work set. So just be cautious what work set is active. It's right in the middle of the screen at the bottom, so you can just check it whenever you need to. Okay, so now let's put the structural file into that work set, and here's how you do it. You can pick if you go scroll down to the bottom of your project browser and highlight the link, you can right click on it, and off of the drop down, you can pick select all instances of this structural link that are in the entire project. When you click that, it selects it, and you can verify it by looking over in your properties. Your properties will tell you which linked file is highlighted. It's selected. So if you look right here, the work set it's in is work set 1. We knew that because that was the active work set when we loaded it. But I can switch it now to any work set that I want. And so in the drop, I'm going to click on the word work set 1 where it is. And in the drop down, now I have structural model as an option. So I can click and put it in the structural work set. Okay. So now that it's in the structural work set, I want to show you some of the powerful things you can do. One of the things is really cool. You can turn it off so that Revit doesn't even think about it at all, okay? Some people just hide the linked models in a certain view, and that is okay to hide it, but Revit's still going to think about it. If you have a huge model and you have a very complicated structural system, it is going to think about all those connections and all of those members, the structural members in there, every time you pan and zoom and work. I'm just saying. So here's how you turn it off. You can come up here to Worksets, which is on the Collaborate tab, click on Worksets. When the dialog box pops up, you can highlight it, and right here, opened, that should say thinking about it. Always continuously thinking about it. That's what opened really means. And so if I highlight that right there, I have a drop down now to switch it to no. And if I didn't want to use the drop down, I could switch it to close over here, close and open, okay? I can hit close. So open, close. See, when you hit open, it switches it to a yes, and when you hit close, it switches to a no. So when it's at a no state, okay, right there under this opened column, I can hit okay. And what Revit does is it turns it off completely. And if you look over under your Revit links, it puts a red X next to it. It unloads it completely so that Revit does not deal with it at all. So I'm going to go turn it back on. So I'm going to go to Worksets, and then I can click the structural model and switch that to yes. Okay. And when I hit OK, what it does, it turns the work set back on, and it also loads it. Watch, wait for it. Over here, there, take a look. It's got a blue arrow pointing down, okay? I don't know why it's pointing down, like, why didn't they point it up? Doesn't matter. It's blue, and that means it's loaded and Revit's thinking about it, okay? That's one cool thing with Worksets. There's another setting in there that I wasn't planning on telling you about, but I will. I'm going to go to Worksets. This here button that says visible in all views is checked. That means if I cut a section, it will be visible. If I create a new view, it'll be visible. If I go anywhere in this project, it's on in that view. But I can switch that. I can uncheck that box so it's not visible in all views, and I have to go turn it on in specific views if I want it turned on. How would we do that? Well, I'm going to turn, look at this, visible in all views? No. I'm going to say, okay, so it's not going to be visible in all views unless it's on. So you notice it turned off. Oh no, what do I do? Well, let me just show you. I'm going to set my view template to none for a minute so I have a little more control over what I'm doing here. If you hit VG on your keyboard, VG or VV, some people click on, one of the tabs across the top are the Worksets. You could be in a section right now. You can be in any view, and that Workset that we turned off is going to be off, except when you do this. You can turn it on in specific views that you need, okay? So you just click on Worksets, and it says right here, the structural model is going to be using that global setting, and it's not visible, okay? I can click that, and there's a drop-down arrow appears, and on the drop-down, I can say, listen, I want you to show it or hide it or continue using the global setting, which is back on the Worksets tab, okay? But I'm going to say, show it. In this view, I'm overriding the global setting of being off in all views, and I'm going to say, show it. In this view, I want it on. So when I hit OK, it will come on, but it will not be visible in sections. It won't be visible other places. So that's a very, very powerful feature, okay? Another powerful feature is this. Down at the bottom of your screen, there's a whole bunch of icons. There's the scale that the view is in and the detail level, blah, 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 okay? There is a button down here called the Work Sharing Display, okay? And it looks like two cubes sitting next to each other with a red X next to it. And so I'm going to click that button, and I have the option to change what my view looks like here, okay? I am going to change it to colorize the view based on the work set. So I'm going to say, I'm going to click on the word Worksets. And look what it does. The Revit assigns colors to Worksets. I don't believe there's anywhere that I can actually tell it what colors to set, but it set the Workset here pink or kind of purplish for Workset 1. And look what it did. It assigned red to the structural Workset. So I can quickly distinguish where the structural members are because they are completely a different color. They will automatically, the Worksets get a color, okay? So I can come back down and click that same button again and turn, it says Work Sharing Display off. It's the bottom selection. So I'm going to click that and just turn it, it goes back to normal. I can use that to find things quickly, okay, that are in different Worksets. Okay, so here we go. Let's link in some more items. So first, I want to link in plumbing, and I want to link in electrical, let's just say. So I'm going to go back up here to Worksets, and I'm going to create those two new Worksets. So here we go. New, I'm going to call it plumbing model. Okay, there's the plumbing model. I made one, and then I can hit, I would like another one, electrical model. Okay, so I can create as many as I want, okay? And then when I say, okay, do I want to make the electrical one the active one? No. But maybe I do, huh? Okay, so check this out. I am going to bring the electrical in and then switch it, but then I'm going to take the plumbing one and preset my active work set to plumbing so that it will come in automatically. So here we go. What did I say I was going to do? Okay. Electrical. So I'm going to load it in. So here we go. Insert the Revit link. I want the electrical file. Okay, so here comes the electrical file coming in. You're going to see lots of receptacles and switches pop in here in a second. Wait for it. Wait for it. Ah, there they are. Okay, you guys see all the switches. We've got outlets. We've got switches all over the place. But that file, and it pops in over here under Revit links, it is not in a work set. It came in to, I'm going to verify it, right click, select all instances in the entire project. And we look in the properties, sure enough, it's in work set 1. So I'm going to switch it to electrical work set. Okay. And I'm going to verify, I'm going to change the colors again, going back to work sharing display. And I'm going to change that to Worksets. Okay, so it assigned the electrical some bogus brownish color, and I'm okay with that. Who cares? It picked a color, and now I can pan around, and anything that's not red and purple is going to be my electrical. There it is, electrical. Okay, you guys with me? All right, let's bring in the, I'm going to turn that off, work sharing display off. I'm going to bring in the plumbing now, but I'm going to preset the work set so that it comes into that. So the active work set is right down here at the bottom. Okay, I can switch the active work set. You just click in the box. I'm going to switch the active work set to plumbing. And it says it down at the bottom. Plumbing model is now the active work set. If I place a piece of furniture, if I place a wall or any item in the model right now, it's going to go into the plumbing work set. So you just have to be careful with this. So now that it's the active work set, I'm going to come up here to the Insert tab and click Link a Revit file. And this time I'm going to bring in plumbing and say, okay, it's going to automatically, wait for it, over here in the bathroom, you're going to see pipes and stuff come in behind the toilet and sink. There they are. Okay, see those guys? They're right there. If I right click on the plumbing file and select all instances in the entire project, look at this. Sure enough, it came into the plumbing model work set. Perfectly fine. Okay. And now I'm going to switch my active work set back to work set 1. So other things that I link in or draw or do anything don't go into that plumbing work set. You just got to keep an eye on that. Okay, let's colorize this thing for a second. Colorize, wait for it. Colorize, work sharing display on. Whoops, didn't click it. Work sharing display, work sets. There we go. Oh, look at that. It assigned cyan to everything that is in the plumbing work set. So this is a very quick way for you to verify that pipes are actually in the walls, that they're not just going astray. You can check where outlets are. You can check where structure is. You can find things fast by colorizing based on work sets. So that is a great tool, okay? There's another tool, another thing that I want to show you guys. Okay, this is very, I love this next feature I'm going to show you. I just set it back to normal. This next feature, I'm sitting here working on this, and let's suppose that somebody else goes to open the model and work in it with me at the same time. Whatever work sets I have on, and when I synchronize, watch this. I'm going to say collaborate. I'm going to synchronize with central. Okay, synchronize with central. I'm going to say okay. Here's what happens. Any work sets that are on that state is going to be saved in the central file. So the next person that gets a local, those same ones will be on for them. Just saying. So let's just check it. The work sets, I'm going to switch them. All of them are on. Let's turn one off to prove that I'm not lying to you right now. Let's turn off structural. I'm going to switch structural to no. And when I say okay, take a look. The structural is unloaded. When we look over to the Revit links, sure enough, it is unloaded. The structural file is out of here, okay? And I'm going to synchronize again. Now, I've just synchronized. Let's suppose someone else in your office or my office opens this file, okay? So I'm going to say file, close, okay? I'm just going to pretend I'm somebody, relinquish all my elements and work sets. Yeah, you always relinquish when you go home at the end of the day. When you close your file, relinquish. Synchronize and then relinquish. Get it out. Okay, now I'm going to hit open, and I'm going to open up the architectural file again, and I'm going to get myself a new local. Let's just say I'm somebody else. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm somebody else, or I'm even myself the next day, like tomorrow morning. I'm going to say open, okay? What it's going to do, overwrite. Oh, this is overwriting my copy of my local. That's so yesterday. Got to turn that right. Just overwrite it every time. Just overwrite. As long as you synchronized before you exited last, overwrite. Otherwise, you're going to have to do a copy paste. Okay, so here we go. Or open your local, synchronize, and then you're fine. So here we go, waiting for it. It's opening everything that's on. So it can take a while. The mechanical, electrical, plumbing files had to load, but the structural didn't. Look, the electrical and plumbing are off. I mean, they're loaded and structural is off. It's the same state. If I go back to my plan here, it's the same state it was left in the last, there we go. The last time that we synchronized. But you don't have to do that. Here's the feature that I want to show you guys. Watch this. Let's just say I close this file. I'm going to say close. Okay. I don't say the project, just close. Leave me alone. Okay. There we go. So suppose I come in the next day and I want the structural on, but the other's off. I don't have to wonder what the last person did when they actually synchronized with Central. I'm not stuck to opening everything they had. I can override that. And that's one of the other powerful features of Worksets. So here I go. Look at this. If I say open, and I would like to open the architectural file, don't just reach down and hit the open button. There's a drop down there. On that little drop down, I can select specify, okay? And then once I switch it to specify, I can hit open, and a dialog box, well, it asked me first if I want to overwrite yesterday's file. Yes, that's so yesterday, let it go. A dialog box pops up and it lists all of my work sets, and it tells me what it's about to do. It says, hey, the electrical is going to open, plumbing is going to open, shared levels and grids is going to open, but look, structural is not. That was the last state that this was saved at. And I say, no, 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 no. I want the electrical file, and I highlight the electrical model, and I can hit the close button and switch it to no. And I want the plumbing model also to no. Shared levels and grids, yes. Structural model, yes. I want that set to yes with the my workset 1, yes. So I can specify which worksets are going to be on, because let's just say today, I don't even need to see the electrical or the plumbing, but I do need to see where the structure is. You could turn them all off except the workset 1 and shared levels and grids, so that it's only your file. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay. And what it's going to do, it is going to do the switcho changeo behind the scenes, and it's going to take the time to only open my file and the structural link. Wait for it. Take a sip of coffee. Okay. I said, okay, there we go. Okay, so if I go, look, the Revit links are exactly how I specified them. And when I go to the plan, sure enough, well, let's look, structural is on, all the electrical's off, and the plumbing's off. So you can control which work sets load. You do not want to load every single work set if you don't need them that day. Okay, just saying. All right. Another fun thing about work sets is you can put anything you want that's in your model into a work set. It's not only designed to use with linked files. You can put anything you want. So here, watch this. I'm going to hit collaborate, work sets. I'm going to make one called furniture. Okay, look, I want a new work set. Furniture. Oh, spelled it wrong. Furniture, there we go. So I've created a work set called furniture. I'm gonna say, okay. And it says, do you want furniture to be the active work set? No. Okay. So anyway, now I can pick items, any items. It doesn't have to be only the furniture. If I made a work set that was called, don't turn these things on, I can pick things from different categories and put them in that work set. But in this case, I just want the furniture. So I can pick, okay, I'm going to pick this table, and look, it's in work set 1. But I can also, I'm going to hold down Control and pick the chair. Everything I've picked is in work set 1. So look at this. I'm going to get down here, and I'm going to pick that chair and that chair. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say, and you, and this table. Now there's a TV. I don't know if I want to put that in the work set or not. Sure, why not? There. That's like a monitor for the conference room. So I have selected, I held down Control and picked these different items. Now I'm going to come over here to work set. I'm going to switch those items to the furniture work set. It doesn't change them visibly at all. But take a look, when I turn on the color for the different work sets, they're going to be a different color. Do you see what I'm working with here? This is fantastic. And I'm going to go, how about, what if I had a hotel or a huge university housing project, and there's so much furniture that it's bogging down my project? I can grab all the furniture in the entire project, the entire category, and put it on the furniture work set. And if I say work sets, look at this, wait for it, furniture, switch it to no, all the items that are on that work set are off for the whole project, so that I can pan and zoom and orbit and get around in my model so fast now because the work set is turned off. You guys with me? Okay, now that is creating them and using them, but let's suppose you want to delete a work set because you don't need it anymore. Let's get rid of that furniture one. I want to show you what's going on, okay? So I'm going to go back to work sets, and if I click on the furniture work set, I have the opportunity to hit delete. If you click on one and the delete button is not available, you need to hit the editable button. That makes it editable to you. So like electrical model, I'm going to go set that to editable. Okay, wait for it. And I say, okay, you have to leave this dialog box and then come back in order to delete. It won't allow you to delete it right when you make it editable. You have to leave and come back. It's weird. I don't know. Electrical model, no. So now when I come back to work sets, take a look. I can click the electrical model and delete it if I wanted. And there's the furniture model, and I mean work set, and I can delete it. Now here's something cool. I have items on that work set, right? So when I hit the delete button, it pops up and says, wait. It detects that there's items actually on that work set. And it says, what do you want to do? You could delete, if you change the radio button to delete, it will delete everything on that work set. So be careful not to do that unless that's what you want to do. I leave it on move to, and you can pick which work set to move those items to. If I create another work set, I can move them to it, or I can just say, dump them all into work sets. See, here's the list. All the different work sets are here. I can dump them into work set 1, which is my normal work set that I'm typically working in. I say, okay. And it deleted, look here, it deleted the work set. The work set called furniture, and it dumped all items into the work set right here, into my normal model. So if I click on an object, you'll notice they're back into work set 1. All right. I'm telling you, friends, this is a very, very powerful tool that we have, work sets. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, just talk to you. Set up work sets. If you have a work sharing model, set up work sets, put things in those work sets and use it to the best of your design abilities. turn off work sets that you are not working in, and it will speed up Revit while you're working. You can also specify which work sets that you want on when you open the file. You just have to change that drop down to specify before you hit the open button. All right. And so I think that's all I wanted to say on Worksets. I hope this helps you guys. I know most everybody is working in projects that are has Worksharing enabled. And that means that this could be very valuable for you and your team. All right. So if people on your team need to understand Worksets, just have them watch this video. And I guess that's all. So until we meet again, happy Reviting. All right. Bye-bye.